Hello and welcome to News Central TV. My name is Mazino Appeal. Top stories at this hour. President Tinubu commends Governors Forum for supporting proposed tax reform bills, and PDP alleges widespread irregularities during Edo governorship elections, opens case at tribunal. Also, United Nations warns ongoing war in Sudan is increasingly perilous for civilians. And the details coming up shortly. And you're welcome. Now let's begin by telling you that President Bola Tinubu has commended the Nigerian Governors Forum for its support of the proposed tax reform, the tax reform bills currently under consideration by the National Assembly. In a statement on Friday by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, Tinubu described the governors as critical partners in the nation's development. He said the tax reforms are designed to advance national interest, improve Nigeria's economic competitiveness, and attract both domestic and foreign investments. Following a meeting with the Presidential Tax Reform Committee on Thursday, the 16th of January, the governors endorsed the bills and proposed an alternative formula for value-added tax distributions. The forum recommended a VAT sharing formula of 50% based on equality, 30% on derivation, and 20% on population, differing from the federal government's proposal. Now let's also tell you that Minister of Works Dave Umahi has called for an increase in the 800 billion naira allocated to the ministry in the 2025 budget proposal, describing it as inadequate to address Nigeria's extensive road infrastructure needs. Speaking on Friday during a budget defense session hosted by the House Committee on Works, Umahi urged lawmakers to consider raising the allocation. He also stressed the importance of sufficient funding to complete ongoing projects and launch new ones across the country. The minister highlighted the scale of road projects planned by the ministry, pointing out that the current budgetary provisions falls far short of the requirements. Umahi proposed borrowing as a feasible solution to bridge the funding gap, framing it as an investment in Nigeria's development and long-term prosperity.
So I agree with Mr. President that the infrastructure or road sector improvement cannot be done through just mere budgetary provisions. We have to support the president to look for money to know if we really want to improve on this. And I feel so bad, I have a name to protect. The way I'm being called all over the nation, as if money is given to me and I'm afraid to do this. I'm not afraid in any of my life engagements. And I feel frustrated when, people are new to this kind of thing. And it makes me to feel so sad because I work very hard to earn my reputation. If you give me any budgetary provision for this ongoing project, I don't know the contractors. I didn't employ them. We inherited them. Some people feel that giving money to Minister of Works is giving it to Farm Secretary or to Minister or to Minister. That should not be. We don't know the contractors. We have no engagement with the contractors. And so we have to agree whether we need to improve our road infrastructure. And whatever thing you give to us, let us tie it to specific projects. And then watch us in 9 months. We exhaust whatever allocation.
Now, still on budget defense, Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, on Friday raised concerns over the slow release of funds allocated for the ministry's capital projects in 2024 budget. Speaking during a breakdown of the ministry's 2024 budget performance and the 2025 projections, Pate said only 15.06% of the capital allocation, amounting to 26.55 billion naira, had been disbursed out of the 233.69 billion naira budgeted for capital projects. He attributed the delays in fund release and cash backing to the bottom-up cash plan policy implemented by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. Pate also disclosed that the ministry had yet to receive any portion of the 57.39 billion naira earmarked under multilateral and bilateral loans for capital projects. The total 2024 budget for the ministry was 242.14 billion naira, comprising 7.48 billion naira for personnel, 998.74 million naira for overheads, and 233.66 billion naira for capital expenditure. Meanwhile, the National Assembly Joint Committee on Interior on Friday raised concerns over discrepancies in the 2023 budget proposal of the Federal Fire Service, resulting in the suspension of the agency's budget defense. The Comptroller General of the FFS, Jaji Idris, appeared before the committee, co-chaired by Senator Adams Oshiomhole and Representative Abdullahi Ahmed, to present the agency's 2024 budget performance and 2025 proposal. Lawmakers highlighted irregularities, including the procurement of 10 fire trucks from the same company with identical specifications, but listed as differing cost, 1.5 billion naira in one instance and 2.5 billion naira in another. While the FFS boss attributed the variation to differences in tanker sizes, the committee criticized the omission of such critical detail in the budget documents. The committee has demanded further clarification from the agency before proceeding with the budget defense. And now, away from budget defense, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has increased the price of petroleum motor spirit, commonly known as petrol, to 955 naira per litre at its loading gantry, citing a sustained rise in the global benchmark Brent crude. In a statement on Friday, the refinery explained that the new pricing structure reflects 6.17% increase from the previous rate of 899 naira 50 kobo per litre, which had been offered as a holiday discount for bulk buyers in December. Under the revised pricing, marketers purchasing between 2 million and 4.99 million litres of petrol will now pay 955 naira per litre, while those buying 5 million litres or more will receive a discounted rate of 950 naira per litre. This adjustment comes in response to a sharp increase in global oil prices, driven by volatility in the Brent crude market. Reports suggest that the price hike has also led to an increase in petrol pump prices, which now reach up to 1,150 naira per litre in some areas. And in the meantime, the Nigerian Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency has blamed the recent gas leakage and fire incident at the Buguma Well 8 belonging to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to the activities of pipeline vandals engaged in illegal oil bunkering activities. The Director General of the agency, during an on-the-spot inspection visit to the location with several joint venture partners, says that several environmental concerns were also observed, including the growth of vegetation around the locations of the illegally connected hoses to the wellhead, causing stress to the wellhead and severe gas leak. The agency also tasked the NNPCL to immediately commence the repair of the affected wellhead and ensure continuous surveillance of its operational area to prevent a reoccurrence. Now, the World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, Ndiame Diop, has called on stakeholders to put all hands on deck in ensuring the effects of climate change are reduced to the barest minimum. He was speaking in Jos, the Plateau State capital, during the disbursement of the Community Revolving Fund initiative for the World Bank through the agro-climatic resilience in semi-arid landscapes to empower selected communities in the state. Now, News Central's Chizobanyanwe completes the report.
The global effect of climate change is the major reason behind this World Bank intervention launched here on the Plateau to reduce poverty level as well as improve agriculture and environment, among others. For the 10 groups that will receive $25,000 each from this intervention of non-interest rate loan of $250,000 in Plateau State, a word, they say, is enough for the wise.
This financial support is specifically targeted toward AgriSold registered community interest groups, CIGs, across the state in targeted watershed.
Beyond just implementing projects, we want to see how these investments will work towards uplifting our people out of poverty.
as a parliament, we will offer ourselves as free agents to oversee or to oversight your activities to ensure that the effort of the governor and the World Bank is not wasted.
It's a very well-planned project designed to help protect the environment and also strengthen the capacity of the vulnerable communities to be able to respond to climate change shocks that we have seen.
However, sustainability and maintenance of this initiative remain a challenge to a total of 140 benefiting communities spread across the 3 senatorial zones in the state.
Everything about this, about Acrosal, is going to be transparent, and we'll make sure that food is available in our communities through this program.
My responsibility is to monitor and continue to educate the people and let them know that this is a loan, it's not a free money, it's not a grant. And so by using it maximally, that is how it's going to benefit every one of us.
High point of the event was the commissioning and distribution of 20 tractors to benefiting communities to improve agricultural activities in the state. In Jos, Plateau State, for News Central, I am Chizoba Anyui.
A Minister of Information and National Orientation has assured citizens supplying the Abuja-Kano Expressway that the road, which has been undergoing construction and repair works, will be completed in the next 14 months. The minister, during an inspection tour of the road with the Minister of Works, says President Bola Tinubu will no longer tolerate any further delays for the completion of the road. Our News Central's Amadine Uyi reports.
The 431.4-kilometer road transversing through Zaria is one of the busiest highway corridors in the northwest region of the country. Despite promises by the last administration that the road will be completed, citizens have continued to wait anxiously for its completion. It is why this inspection by the Minister of Information and National Orientation and the Minister of Works with several officials of government is on ground to inspect the state of the project.
We want Nigerians to put to rest the politics of the construction of this road. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is very determined to ensure that this road, stretching from Abuja to Cano, is completed in record time.
The Minister of Works says that new approvals have been given for the road, thus overcoming all bureaucratic bottlenecks.
I'm happy to announce that as at yesterday, we got no objection from BPP for a total, length of the road, 119 and 252.6 billion contract sum. I'm very sure that FED will give us approval in our next sitting. But let me also say that, we have added 10.6 kilometers at Kano axis to take the project to Kano International Airport, and we've added another 5 kilometers towards Kogi, and we have also added, a complete. At every point you stand, you will see 4 solar lights, all through the 750 kilometers.
Also, the Minister of Information assured that the road will be completed in 14 months.
The delay of any kind will not be acceptable. You have listened to the Honorable Minister. The President has given him a marching order, and the National Assembly is also giving them the necessary cooperation. And there will be no issues. Within 14 months, we're going to have brand new road flying from Abuja end to Kano.
The project has currently been segmented into 3 sections for ease of work and is being constructed by construction giants Julius. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
We're going on a short break, but when we return, PDP opens case in Edo Governorship Tribunal, alleges widespread election irregularities. If you stay with us, we'll bring you the details after. And you're welcome back. Now, the People's Democratic Party and its candidate in the 2024 Edo State governorship election, Aswa Ighodalo, began their case on Friday at the Election Petition Tribunal, presenting critical documents to substantiate allegations of rigging. Ighodalo informed the tribunal that the election was plagued by widespread irregularities, challenging the Independent National Electoral Commission's declaration of All Progressives Congress candidate Monday Okpebholo as the winner. He argued that he secured the highest valid votes in the election and questioned INEC's decision, citing non-compliance with the Electoral Act 2022 during the hearing. Now, during the hearing, the petitioners-led counsel Adetunji Oyeikpo submitted a certified true copy of the EC8E, the INEC final declaration result sheet, as evidence reporting the petition. The tribunal, chaired by Justice Wilfred Buchi, provisionally admitted all submitted documents as exhibits. The hearing continues on Saturday, with the petitioners expected to present additional evidence as they seek to overturn the election results. And away from that, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed Justice, or rather Julius Abour, as the national chairman of the Labour Party. In a judgment delivered on Friday by the Hamabarka, the court ruled that its earlier decision in November 2024, recognizing Abour as the party's chairman, remains valid and has not been overturned by any court. The ruling came in response to two separate appeals filed by Nina Usman, the party's caretaker committee, and the Independent National Electoral Commission. The appellate court, in the two separate appeals, held that it did not delve into the issue of the leadership of the Labour Party because such issues are not justiciable. To security matters now. 18 persons have been recovered from their abductors after troops of the 3 Division and Operation Safe Haven intensified operations around the borders of Plateau and Nasarawa States. Speaking during a joint security press briefing at the headquarters of Operation Safe Haven in Jos, the military information officer, Major Samson Zakum, said the feat was in continuation of efforts in protecting lives and property. News Central's Chizobanyanwe completes the report.
After profiling and documentation by relevant agencies, this is the handover of the 18 freed abducted victims to their families by troops of 3 Division and Operation Safe Haven in their continued operations under Operation Golden Peace.
The past 2 months witnessed intensive offensive operations around the borders between Plateau and Nasarawa states, especially around Bangalala and Kinishi forests, stretching across Wase and Karim Lamido local government areas of Plateau and Nasarawa State with positive outcomes. The operations led to the neutralization of several bandits and destruction of life support structures, a situation that mounted pressure on them, leading to the recovery of 18 kidnapped victims.
While some of these suspects were neutralized during counter-insurgency operations by troops of Sector 5 of Operation Safe Haven, others arrested included suspected bandits, kidnap kingpins, illegal gun fabricators, and gun-running syndicates in Bokos, Bassa, Kanam, and Jama local government areas of Plateau and Kaduna states, respectively.
On 28th of December 2024, troops captured a notorious gun runner, Mr. Musa J., who coordinated activities of supplying weapons to a criminal syndicate at Dengi in Kanam local government area of Plateau State. The suspect is making useful confessions, and efforts are in place to track and arrest his collaborators as well as recover their weapons.
These assorted arms and ammunition, including the sum of 200,000 naira, were recovered from the suspects. Major Zakom says troops of 3 Division and Operation Safe Haven under Major General Abdusalam Abubakar will not rest on their oars until criminals have no hiding place in the states. In Jos Plateau State for News Central, I am Chizoba Anyoe.
Now, a week after a young lady was arrested by the police in Delta State, South Nigeria, after conniving with her boyfriend to fake her own kidnap, another woman has been arrested. This time, a 40-year-old woman claimed to have been kidnapped on her way to visit her new male friend in Warri, whom she met on Facebook. News Central's correspondent Austin Azu has more on this story.
The Delta State Police Public Relations Officer is here at the Ekpan Police Station in Ubia local government area of the state to parade some suspects who have become nightmare to the residents in different parts of the state.
There will be parading some suspects who we have arrested.
Notably, among the suspects, as announced by the PPRO, is a 40-year-old lady who faked her kidnap while on a transit to meet her supposed social media fan love.
We now call the supposed date. That smart Amanda who was coming to meet you has been kidnapped, and they are demanding a ransom of, in this case, she said 15 million. The next day, Faith Ogenejagbo called again that the family of Amanda has been able to raise more than half of the money and is just remaining about 150,000 to complete. And the victim, the supposed date, sent the money.
In a related development, police operatives in the state also arrested a 25-year-old female suspect for allegedly selling a baby conceived out of wedlock. Here is a 26-year-old man who allegedly lured a 12-year-old boy to his barbing salon in Warri and defied him.
Head into his barbing salon, logged onto a pornographic website, and asked him that both of them should practice what they were watching. The suspect then allegedly defied the 12-year-old boy through his mouth and his anus. Investigation also revealed that the suspect has been defiling this victim for the past 2 years.
Some of the suspects speak with newsmen.
There is this particular man I dated some years ago, and while I was dating him, he promises me a lot of things which he never fulfilled. So he was even sleeping with my friends. So I was like angry, and I said I was going to deal with him.
I don't fit take care of her. I don't give her heart to me bad. I don't give her, I don't mean bad for her. And I don't know, I've been a lady when I carry the baby, give I want the baby. I tell the lady may carry a go bandage for me.
And I did not penetrate the child. We were just only masturbating each other.
According to the Delta State Police, other suspects arrested include serial car snatchers, ritualists, cultists, among others, while recovering one Beretta pistol, one revolver gun, pump action, and one locally made quarter-size gun, among others. The police say each of the suspects will be charged to court. In Ekpan for News Central, I'm Austin Azu.
Now, the Nasarawa State Police Command has arraigned Timilehin Ajayi in court for murder. Ajayi stands accused of dismembering the purported girlfriend, Salome Adaidu, when she visited him at his house in Papalada axis of New Karshi in Karo local government area of Nasarawa State. 32-year-old Timi Ajayi arrived at the Nasarawa State High Court in Lafia, the Nasarawa State capital, on Friday. Prior to her gruesome murder, the 24-year-old victim was a member of the National Youth Service Corps, serving at Nikon Insurance in Abuja, the nation's capital. The suspect was brought to the headquarters of the Nasarawa State Police Command on Tuesday, where he was paraded alongside the knife and the machetes he used to commit the crime. The wife of a retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, Hakeem Odumosu, has been kidnapped by her residence, from her residence in the Arepo area of Ogun State. Now, the State Police Command reacted swiftly to the abduction by deploying operatives to secure her release. According to available information, Mrs. Odumosu was abducted in the early hours of Friday by heavily armed men. The kidnappers were said to have stormed the home of the Odumosus, shooting sporadically. The Ogun State Police Command is expected to issue an official statement on the issue. And Abia State Governor Alex Oti has commended the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, and the Nigerian police in tackling insecurity in the state. Oti, who made the commendations when he received in his Nvosi country home the wife of the Inspector General of Police and President of Police Officers' Wives Association, Elizabeth Igbetukun, and her delegation also approves provision of land and manpower for a skill acquisition project initiated by Mrs. Igbetukun.
Peace. But then when you compare us with some parts of the country, I think we have a better story to tell. But I can also tell you that we don't rest on our earth. We continue to improve to ensure that our people can sleep with their two eyes closed, even if we don't sleep. That the fallen heroes amongst the members of the police force are not forgotten, and that you have come to reach out to members of Abour and then Lafia.
Well, at the time they learn something, they will fit for themselves, they will be comfortable, and they will not come out and they will not be crying, or the women will not be suffering. So part of the reason why we are here is to solicit for a land, which we know you can do for us, sir, and then we will build up a skill acquisition for them so we can put a smile on their faces.
Illegal market structures at the popular Sele bus stop along the Oshodi-Apapa Express Road have been demolished by men of the Kick Against Indiscipline Agency under the Lagos State government. The demolition exercise, which started on Friday morning, witnessed the demolition of illegal kiosks, warehouses, stores erected as business centers around the bus stop. News Central's Omolola Ololade was there and filed in this report.
What used to be a bustling market with several activities of buying and selling is now brought down to rubbles by members of the Kick Against Indiscipline Agency under the Lagos State government. The demolition of shops at the popular Oduenro market in the Sele area of Lagos started at the early hours of Friday morning, leaving traders devastated about the destruction. While a few traders were able to salvage their goods, many remain sad as they recount their losses.
They came about 3 days ago to tell us that they will come back today. But coming back, we didn't expect all this, demolishing our table, spoiling our goods, unaware. Assuming we know that they are going to demolish all these things, we wouldn't have gone to market yesterday. We bought many of us, our goods are here. Like me now, I lost some of my goods. I don't know where it is.
Estimate of the goods is worth in 2 million. It's worth in 2 millions because personally, I have over 1 million of it. So if you multiply it by over 300 people here, we have people that are far, far richer than me in this market that has more capital in their business than I do. So it runs into millions. We can't estimate it as it is right now.
Besides being surrounded by a canal, the market situated under the bridge is also a major link road from Itire to Sele, which poses an environmental and security threat to residents, hence the demolition, according to Kai officials.
There has been a law in Lagos State that there should be no form of buying and selling under the bridge. And equally, you can see that they blocked the canal, so nobody can use the canal again. The canal is blocked, the water is not flowing. And we came here last week. I started being noting since last week, Wednesday. I even came with the commissioner on Monday, so they refused to move. You can see the old trash being moved. And on top of that bridge, every night when they rob, they run down to this place. They want to clear the place of street trader and miscreants.
While the market's women mentioned that they were given a short notice, the Lagos State Ministry of Environment and Water Resources earlier this week warned citizens of the demolition of shanties and illegal market structures in the state. In Lagos for News Central, I am Omolola Ololade.
Almajiri boy from Benue State, Suleiman Adam, known as Abakaka, has turned his life around with a simple display of his creative talent. After deploying, or rather developing, a detailed artistic replica of the recently inaugurated overhead bridge, his work went viral, thanks to a report by News Central. The remarkable story has led to life-changing opportunities for the young, talented African boy. In here, News Central's Umar Kirawa, who has been following up with the Young Boys Initiative, completes the report.
Exactly 6 days after the report of the young African talent, Abuja-Kano Adam, the Borno State government has stepped in.
The Zulum administration has always prioritized the education of the less privileged child. You could clearly see that this is a child with a very high IQ, extremely intelligent boy. So I have decided that as part of the component of innovation in our ministry where we harness talents, I am going to enroll him back in a regular school so that he will have a proper education background so that eventually we could have an architect in him. I have spoken to the commandant of the command school here in Maiduguri to enroll him on state scholarship. So he's going to be sponsored free and would follow up. As he spends the first 3 years, we will enroll him into a proper technical school where he would realize his dream of being an architect.
We moved to Command Science Secondary School, Auno, where the young Abuja-Kano was admitted on a full scholarship, supported with books, uniforms, sandals, mattress, among others, to ensure he receives a quality education.
In this school, we have over 300 students brought in by the state government. So, as you can see, you have entered our classes and you have seen, and we hope that what we are doing will going to be appreciated and will be supported.
Abuja-Kano's parents were also provided with financial aid of 250,000 naira for the upkeep of the boy and to improve their living standards.
Alhamdulillah, askrinya ala rangala ala nero mukwara sir ala kejiro sir askrinya ala rotara imku monti so ngala ala kejin tamayo.
Ala gumnati ya kamande ala ba hafsu kuma asinde baraz askrinya uduna ingana na yimba udebura dai gumnati no yi gozuna alhamdulillah ni jeri dama kirawa ni ma dem lem fanni so room fanni so ko to so gonum dai isum so do ham dai isa akira wa is huwono dai askrinya ala kamande ala nyendir mu kwaza kamande askrinya wallahi tara yin
These are some of the drawings made by Abuja-Kano during his leisure time.
Umaru Kirawa has helped us by making sure that he connects the family of this boy and the Honorable Commissioner, and we're very, very impressed that in less than 24 hours of the entire thing, this child is now enrolled in schools, and he's not only enrolled in school, but one of the best schools that we have in the Northeast, because we have seen how productive and how progressive-minded the students of this school are. Some of us have 1 or 2 relatives coming to this school, and we have seen how progressive these kids are and how different they are from their other peers that are outside there.
The Borno State government has pledged to continue to support talented individuals as part of recovery effort for the state after years of Boko Haram insurgency.
Governor Zulum has set aside over 10 billion naira this year for scholarships just for these purposes. And it is our intention to build our citizenry so that we become a hub for innovation and skilled workers in future.
Abuja-Kano's story is a powerful reminder of the transformative impact of creativity and the need to empower more children from underprivileged communities. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Now to health matters. This month marks International Blood Donation Awareness Month, a time dedicated to raising awareness about the importance of donating blood. But what do Nigerians think about blood donations? Now, News Central's Chidimma took to the streets of Lagos to gather perspectives and experience from the public. Let's take a look.
So why should I donate?
I'm being selfish, so I feel that I shouldn't give my blood to somebody else.
That is a perception of most Lagosians, or perhaps Nigerians, when asked about blood donation. As part of our exploration of blood donation in Nigeria, we hit the streets of Lagos to hear from everyday people about their personal experiences with blood donation.
There's a story I heard that anyone with a tattoo cannot donate blood. Is it true? I don't know.
but I've not donated blood before. But if I should have any reason to donate, I wouldn't mind.
When I was in school, I went to AAU, so there's this social club in school, Alpha Club, that they encourage people to donate blood, and I have friends go to the place and donate blood. Sometimes some of them faint. More reason why I don't even try it, because I don't know, it's just not my thing.
I'm aware of free donors and also paid donors, and I've also heard that for you to donate blood, you have to make sure that your own blood count is very high. If not, the effect on you will be very adverse.
To gain a professional perspective, we spoke with a medical laboratory scientist who shared his experience and provided valuable information on how people can safely donate blood in Nigeria.
Any general hospitals around you, any federal hospitals around you, any medical centers around you, you can just walk in there, ask for their blood bank or their laboratory, ask them that you want to donate blood, and they will guide you on how to go.
Finally, we asked Lagosians how they think awareness can improve blood donation rates in the country.
Like people like me now, I don't know about blood donation. They should create awareness and come to schools, like for students to come to schools to enlighten us, programs and the likes.
Governments should do some awareness, let people know that, you can save a life by donating blood, by, giving out what you have to save others.
Perspectives on blood donation in Nigeria vary, but one thing is clear. Awareness and education play a crucial role in encouraging more people to donate. Whether you've donated before or are considering it for the first time, your contribution could be the gift of life for someone in need. In Lagos, reporting for News Central, I am Chidinma Ona.
Coming up, UN warns ongoing war in Sudan is becoming more perilous for civilians. We'll bring you the details after. Welcome back. Now, the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, has raised alarm over the escalating dangers faced by civilians in Sudan amid reports of ethnic-based attacks by army-allied militia. Now, in a statement on Friday, Turk describes the situation as desperate, citing evidence of war crimes and other atrocities committed during the ongoing conflict. He warned followers, his warning follows a recent offensive by the Sudanese army, which reclaimed Wad Madani, the capital of Almajiri, a state, from the Rapid Support Forces. Now, the UN Human Rights Office reported that at least 21 civilian deaths in 2 documented attacks in Almajiri over the past week, cautioning that the actual toll is likely much higher. The incidents were reported at 2 camps located approximately 40 kilometers from Wad Madani. And in the meantime, residents of Port Sudan have expressed outrage over the United States sanctions against Sudanese Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. The sanctions accuse the army of targeting schools, markets, and hospitals, as well as using food deprivation as a weapon of war. Speaking on the matter, local residents dismissed the U.S. decision as politically motivated, claiming it is an attempt to undermine the credibility and progress of the Sudanese army. They argue that such measures would only strengthen the army's resolve and determination. The sanctions come amid growing international concern over the ongoing conflict in Sudan, which has inflicted devastating effects on civilians and infrastructure across the country.
إلا قوة ومتانة وصلابة أمام المدحرين وهذا القرارات من بدري السودان محاصر من سنة 83 ما زادته إلا صلابة وقوة.
القرار اللي كده قرار سياسي من الدرجة الأولى. شافوا الانتصارات وشافوا جيش السودان قوته وتفاجئوا به. دارين شنو؟ يقللوا قيمة الجيش السوداني ولا التطور الحاصل في الجيش السوداني. والله ما بزيدنا إلا عزيمة وقوة.
Now, the Israeli far-right minister Ben Gvir has called on allies of the religious Zionism party to take a firm stand against the ceasefire deal. In a video message posted on his Instagram, or rather Telegram channel, Ben Gvir noted that it is not too late for the deal to be stopped. He called the deal an irresponsible agreement, claiming that the objective of the war has not been achieved. This comes as Israel's Security Cabinet approved the Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal that should take effect this weekend. Ben had threatened that his party colleagues would quit the cabinet if it approved a Gaza ceasefire and shortage, or rather hostage release deal. The forum apologies there. Now, the forum approved a new VAT distribution formula, 50% based on equity, or rather equality, and 30% on derivation, and 20% on population. They also agreed to retain existing VAT and corporate income tax rates while maintaining exemptions for essential goods and agricultural products to safeguard economic stability. Speaking on Business Edge, News Central's flagship business program, tax consultant Abuja-Kano commended the forum's support for the proposed tax reform, but also shared his concerns and reservations.
And clothing, and when you're now looking at food, which is more like the necessity, and the inflation level around it is not of 40%, of course, it's a great concern. And I guess that's one of the reasons why the fiscal policy.
Kvicha Karaskashila has completed his move to Napoli, to Paris Saint-Germain, signing a contract until 2029. Now, the 23-year-old winger, who was voted Serie A's best player after helping Napoli win the 2023 Scudetto, becomes PSG's first Georgian player. While the transfer fee remains undisclosed, reports suggest PSG paid 70 million euros, excluding bonuses. He could make his debut for PSG in their upcoming League R match against Lens, although he would be eligible for Championship League actions unless PSG progresses to the knockout stage. And Gael Monfils pulls off a stunning upset on Saturday, defeating fourth seed Taylor Fritz 3-2, or rather 3-6, 7-5, 7-6, 6-4, 7-1 to reach the fourth round of the Australian Open for the sixth time. At 38, Monfils becomes the second oldest player to reach the last 16 at Melbourne Park, behind only Roger Federer. Monfils ranked 54th. I'll take that back. Monfils is ranked 41st and is riding a wave of confidence after his Auckland Classic victory, becoming the oldest ATP singles champion. He will next face either Ben Shelton, who defeated Lorenzo Musetti. And that's all on the news this hour. But before we go, let's rewind and give you a glimpse of the top stories we brought your way. President Tinubu has commended Governors Forum for supporting proposed tax reform bills. And PDP alleges widespread irregularities during Edo governorship election and launches case at tribunal. And we also told you that the United Nations has warned against ongoing war in Sudan is increasing is very perilous for civilians. Yes, I've got a case of the wobble tongue today. But thank you very much for watching News Central Live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Abour TV, and of course on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. My name is Mazino Appeal.